What do these incidents have in common? February 15, 2025, New Delhi railway station. A desperate rush for a train. Screens lost in the chaos. Bodies pressed so tightly against each other that breath itself became a luxury. At least 18 people died. January 29, 2025, the Kumbh Mela. Millions seeking a holy dip, but the event of faith, the leap of faith, turned into a nightmare. Dozens trampled. Their final prayers lost in the suffocating crush. These weren't just accidents, these were predictable, preventable tragedies. These tragedies can happen anywhere at concerts, train stations, festivals, markets, and this one podcast could make huge difference between life and death for you and your loved ones. By the end of this episode, you will learn the science behind symptoms of massive stampede buildup, the 4 survival techniques that experts use to escape a stampede, how technology and psychology can prevent the next disaster. This knowledge could save your life and life of your loved ones, so stay with me. First, let us understand the 4 stages of a stampede build-up to be better prepared. Most people think stampedes happen when people panic and run, but that's not how most people die. Here's what really happens. Stage 1, high density build-up. More people enter a space than it can handle. Movement slows. People start pressing into each other. Stage 2, the lock-in effect. At 6 or 7 people per square meter, movement is no longer controlled by individuals. You are now part of a human wave. Stage 3, the crush point. Someone stumbles. The wave collapses, but the pressure doesn't stop. The weight of hundreds of bodies pushes down on those who fall. Stage 4, silent suffocation. Most victims die standing up. Their chest is compressed so tightly that they can't even breathe. Most people in stampedes don't die from being trampled. They die from slow suffocation while standing. This is exactly how people died in New Delhi at the Kumbh Mela. The same physics, the same failure in crowd management, but here's the important part. Stampedes can be predicted and survived, and that's what I will teach you next. Now that you understand the science of a stampede build-up, let us talk about 4 life-saving survival techniques if ever you are caught in a high-density crowd. Step 1. Protect your breathing. Take the boxer's stance. Raise your arms in front of your chest like a boxer. This prevents your ribs from being compressed, allowing you to breathe. Step 2. Move like a river, not a rock. Never push against the crowd, it only increases pressure. Instead, move diagonally towards the edges where the pressure is the lowest. Step 3. Avoid bottlenecks and hard barriers. Walls, fences and lock gates are death traps in a crowd push. If you see a bottleneck forming, get out before it's too late. Step 4. If you fall, take the fetal position. It saves lives. If you fall, curl into a ball and protect your head. Try to turn sideways. Lying flat increases the risk of suffocation and crushing of ribs, causing severe injury to vital organs like lungs, heart, and so on. These techniques are used in military training, disaster responses, and major event safety drills worldwide. But here's the bigger question. Why aren't we using science to prevent stampedes before they even start? Well, we don't have to accept stampedes as part of our life. Science and technology have already solved this problem, but we are not applying it everywhere. Here's what works. AI-powered crowd monitoring. Smart cameras can detect dangerous crowd buildup in real time. AI-driven alerts can activate safety measures before pressure reaches a critical level. Mobile-based early warnings. Countries like Japan and South Korea uses apps that warn people when train stations or events are overcrowded. India needs a similar system for railway stations, concerts and religious gatherings. Better infrastructure and exit planning. Wider exits, only one-way flow lanes. Crowd stimulations to test how people move in public spaces. Tokyo Metro has trained crowd control teams. Why don't we have them in India, especially on our busiest railway stations? Lessons from the world's biggest events. The Hajj pilgrimage, 2 million people, and Kumbh Mela, 400 million people expected attendees in 2025. Use crowd density monitoring and controlled entry points. Why aren't these techniques used at train stations and concerts? We already have the knowledge. The question is, are we willing to implement it before the next tragedy happens? This podcast was not just about a news event. This podcast was about you, your safety, and the knowledge that could save thousands of lives. Remember, crowd disasters are predictable. Most deaths are preventable. And knowing what to do can mean the difference between survival and tragedy. So here is my request. Share this episode with your loved ones. God forbids they might need this information one day. Stay aware. Identify warning signs in public spaces. Push for change. Demand better public safety measures. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful survival tool isn't strength or luck. It's knowledge and your response. Your mind matters. This is Sid, and you're listening to Claim Your Mind. Until next time, stay aware, stay sharp, stay calm, stay in control, and stay safe. Bye bye.